Hello, we are live in the Sword and Laser pre-show. How is everybody?
I hope everyone is well
Everybody
on
being Tom.
Sword and Laser.
Did you put us up on Diamond Club?
I did not. How do I do that?
You know how to do that.
I
I don't
do
know how
know
to
how
do
to
that.
do that. What's the what's the URL?
What's the Earl? Don't mess with my Earls, Tom.
I will not mess with your earls, your barons, your coronets.
Well, you're funny. It's in chat. Link is in chat for the Google Plus page. Oh, but you don't want that. That's not
In
what you
which
want.
chat?
The Hangout
Oh, in
chat.
that chat. Oh, that's not
Here
the
comes
right
YouTube.
link.
There you go. There you
That's
go.
the right link.
Now everyone's stuck on my face because I can't click away from myself. There we go.
Stuck on my face.
I'm gonna try to make my microphone look more like your microphone. It doesn't work that way.
It can. Oh, it's so sad. There's a drop
Oh.
down for Brian and Justin's Justin.tv streams.
They
But
don't
there
use
is
this
no
anymore?
such thing anymore as of
Why?
today. They took Justin.tv down this morning.
What? Really? I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's gone.
Crazy.
You have till the 5th of September to move your login over, but there's no more streams.
Too bad.
No more streams. Yeah, I mean, basically, they're just like Twitch worked, and so we're doing that now. Sorry, y'all. And I think this is just me talking here. This is not facts. I think, and many other people agree, that this is a move towards them doing the deal with Google.
Mm.
I think they wanted to wind up Justin TV. Google probably didn't want to be involved in that either. So I wouldn't be surprised to hear about a deal for that.
I see.
But this isn't Daily Tech News Show.
No. Oh, hey, you forgot to write the blog post for 185.
We are up on diamondclub.tv.
Okay. Did you hear me?
What?
You forgot to write the blog post for 185.
Well, I don't know if forget is the right word or just never thought about doing it at all.
Just, well, I think we can squarely put the blame on both of us for this particular mishap because
Forget implies that I at one time thought about it.
It's just, it's not a great system, really, that I have made this whole publishing process dependent on you remembering to write the blog posts.
Well, I
It's not
usually
very
remember.
efficient.
No, but I usually remember.
You do usually remember.
Yeah.
And I usually remember that I have something to edit.
Okay.
It's edited now. I just need to publish
which
it.
one's 185? Is it traveling in space or is
195 is traveling in space.
Okay, so we should post that before we
I will
start.
post that before. Shit. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Really? What's that? You have a fire alarm? My God. Is she yelling fire? What's going on? So everybody, this is going to be fun because I'm going to sit here and do this. Well, I'm going to publish a blog post. So this will be 186. Okay. We did a great interview, which you can watch on our YouTube channel. It went up right away with Stephen Paul Leva and Jeff Canada 2 weeks ago about traveling in space. And then we forgot to post it last Tuesday because I'm an idiot. So that is episode 185, and that will go up today. You'll get 2 episodes of Sword and Laser for the price of 1, which is free. Just so you know. She's being raided. Is she being raided, Pop-Tart Cat? Whoa, there was like a huge alarm. There was yelling in the distance and then nothing. This is starting to get rather disconcerting. Oh, I hear something. She may be alive after all. Is that a sound of a struggle? Okay. No, she seems to be okay. Furious
back, hold
typing.
on.
Furious typing is happening. Was there a struggle? Was there an alarm?
There
Are
was an
aliens
alarm.
invading San Francisco?
Hold on, let me just warn.
I don't know what you're talking about. I went in and looked at the Squarespace website, and it looks to me like there's a blog post for 185.
Oh, I
there
see.
now.
I see. Well, yeah, sorry.
Is that the fire alarm?
No, that was our security alarm.
Oh.
Um,
Was there a robber?
no, it was the contractors. I thought they had left for the day,
Oh.
so I armed the alarm, and then they had not left for the day, needless to say.
Like Han Solo contractors? Like mercenaries?
Yes, like mercenaries.
Nice.
Mm. Oh boy, that was exciting. It's the second time that's happened. Okay, so it's 4:00. We should start the show. Sorry I left you alone like that. That was crazy.
That's all right. It was fun for them to watch me write a blog post while you were gone.
I'm sure it was very fun for them. All 8 of them.
Extremely fun.
Okay.
And then after that happened, then I
Mhm.
started to put it all together that there had been a loud noise, some shouting in the distance, and then you disappeared, and we thought the worst.
Let me just post this on the Twitters.
Oh, yes. Posting on the Twitters is a good thing.
I will post the Google Hangout page so people can ask questions. Oh, and I added a new thing where we can post links to the stuff we're talking about in real time. I'm not sure how it will look.
Oh, yeah. I haven't tried that yet. I saw that show up a while ago.
So we can do that if we'd like.
Okay. No featured items yet.
No featured items yet, but last time I did this, it made the Hangout go all wonky and not synced in time.
What?
It still kind of looks that way to me.
Sinking time, sinking time, sinking time.
All right, add an item from a website. Items will add items. So can you, if you showcase one item at a time, is that how it works?
I don't know how it works, actually.
Tom's all like, duh, I don't know. My name's Tom. That was mean. I shouldn't have done that.
Wow. I mean, because I do sound like that? That's kind of rude. That was kind of rude, bro.
Shown items will be visible. Shown items will now be visible to your audience. Oh, okay. So
Shown items become physical. So, like, if you show a link to a book, the book will appear in their house.
Yes.
That's amazing.
All right. Oh, this is super cool. Oh, and I can pre-prep all this. Neato completo.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I mean, because
I can hear. Oh, I haven't done anything yet, so you won't be able to see it. Error embedding website link. Try again. Error embedding website link. Try again.
Error embedding website link. Try again.
It doesn't like that link for some reason. I took it from your own Hangout docs. Google, do my bidding.
Do my bidding.
Okay, I liked that one. Oh, and it's keeping them in order. How fun. How fun. Done. Okay, I really should focus on actual things, but it's so much fun filling all these things in. Because now we're going to have, like, things to show in real time.
That's cool. As long as it doesn't distract from the audio. How easy is it to put them in?
You just go, boop. Okay, now go look at it.
I don't see anything. I see a little thing that says, join the conversation. Click on this thing.
Oh.
I see you like this.
Like that. It doesn't show anything? We're going to have, like...
Okay. I mean, it's laggy, so.
Oh, it hasn't shown it yet.
Okay, this is me going, don't distract from the audio, Veronica. And then you're like, go look at the thing. And so I don't see anything.
There's nothing there?
No.
Oh, it's a horrible, horrible disappointment.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's no. Maybe you have to be. Oh yeah, you have to be watching the Hangout version, not the embedded version on DiamondClub.tv. Then I see Old Man's War, in which I interview myself about the old. So it's only going to be for certain people.
Oh, okay. Okay. Are you still there?
Yep, I'm still here.
I lost my link. Okay.
I'm still standing.
No, this is complicated, so whatever. Also, all those things just show up on the side. That's dumb. Oh, I don't like that. Forget it. Forget that.
Yeah, it doesn't add it to the video. It just adds it to the Hangout experience.
Yeah, that's lame. All right. Are we ready? Do we have everything we need?
I'm ready. Gord, are you ready?
You got the Squarespace ad ready to go?
Bruce S., you ready? Pop-Tart Cat, you ready?
I think they're all ready.
All right.
Okay.
Want me to do the pre-roll?
Yeah. Let me add my beer.
Did you get snacks?
I did eat a snack.
Did it make you less grumpy?
It did make me a little less grumpy, and then I got grumpy again when all the loud noises happened.
Well, you just need another snack.
That'll have to be after.
Snacks fix everything.
Okay.
All right.
Go for it.
Oh, I like that one. That's a good one. This episode of Sword and Laser is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create your own professional website, portfolio, and online store. For a free trial and 10% off, visit squarespace.com and enter offer code SWORD at checkout. A better web starts with your website.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 186 of The Sword and Laser. I'm Veronica Belmont.
And I'm Tom Merritt.
Ooh, I did the intro a little differently that time.
You did.
I didn't say, hey everyone, welcome to The Sword and Laser. I'm Veronica Belmont. I went the other way.
You just put your thing down, flipped it, and reversed it.
I did. If you're yes, you're
Resaldnadraus.
Akinorev. That's my name backwards. Yours is just Mott.
I just said Sword and Laser backwards.
Did you? How? How'd you do that? Rose.
I pronounced it backward.
Anyway, Sword and Laser is a science fiction and fantasy podcast, book club, and book publisher, and of course video show, and we are streaming live to you right now on a Google Hangout, so hello to all of our live viewers. You can catch us every other Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be hanging out live and also taking your questions in our Google Hangout Q&A section.
So ask a question, and we'll say, and maybe answer it.
Depends on how interesting the question is, but it can go either way.
I like that Frog Pants feed just twittered that it's watching us.
Oh, creepy.
Yeah.
Vaguely creepy. Yeah. So yes, hello to our Frog Pantsers, and hello to our Diamond Club TVers, and hello to our Sword and Laserites, and anyone else who is viewing live or listening to the show after the fact. But let's kick things off with what are we drinking? Tom?
I am having a Smithwick's Premium Irish Ale, which close listeners to the show will know I've had before. It was either this or the same thing I had last time. Those are the only two beers I have in the fridge right now. So it is. It's an Irish ale, and it's good, and it's creamy, and it's not a craft brew or anything, but I always like it. So there.
Fantastic. Well, I am drinking Hell or High Watermelon.
I love that beer.
From 21st Amendment, which is a local brew pub here in San Francisco, and was very close to our old working establishment, CNET, now CBS Interactive. Yeah. So I used to go there a fair amount. Not so much anymore, sometimes before baseball games.
Yeah, it's near the Giants Stadium, Pac-Bell Park, or whatever they call it.
But there's a lot of great bars around there, so it's hard to choose.
Hell or High Watermelon's weird because it's one of the few fruit-flavored beers. I usually don't like that, but I really like that one for some reason.
Yeah, it is pretty tasty. All right, well, let's jump right into the quick burns, which is, of course, our news of the week coming from you.
Yes, we have loads of news about books becoming TV or movies because of Comic-Con. That sort of thing just happens a lot at Comic-Con or happens around Comic-Con. So we'll run through the highlights here. Elaine pointed out something we're both very excited about. Ghost Brigades, part of John Scalzi's Old Man War series, is going to air on Sci-Fi. Elaine says if they keep the tone of the novels, it should be pretty cool. It's nice to see the Sci-Fi channel air more science fiction and fantasy. The irony is it took other cable channels to show them that the genre is viable if done properly, in Elaine's words.
Absolutely. And Scalzi has a bit about it over on his blog at whatever.scalzi.com, in which he interviews himself about the Old Man's War TV series. So that is going to be a fun read. It's pretty much a Q&A with himself.
One of his favorite interviewers.
Oh, absolutely. Great. I mean, they really have great chemistry together.
They do.
I think the Scalzi and Scalzi combo.
They work well. They should podcast.
They should podcast.
Scalzi and Scalzi on Scalzi.
Scalzi and Scalzi on Scalzi. On Scalzi.com.
Whatever.
Yeah, but I think he's done stuff like this before, so it's pretty fun. He's not writing the script, however. He's working on other things, as he says, including the sequel to The Human Division. But he will be executive producer on the show. So he'll have some say. He'll have some say on what happens.
They do that a lot for writers, but not always. So it's good. It means they're involving him at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's like George R. R. Martin. You know, he's an executive producer on the show. But then we look at, I don't know if Diana Gabaldon is executive producer on the Outlander series. That's actually a good question. But a lot of authors just kind of don't have any input. I think that was kind of like the Sookie Stackhouse situation, if I remember correctly. Oh, maybe it was something else.
No, with Charlaine Harris, she has said, like, they do whatever they want with it. It's up to them.
Okay. Oh, so she doesn't have a lot of input in that directly.
And it doesn't. Either she's playing it off very nice because she's a gentlewoman, or she's like, yeah, that's fine. I don't want to be involved in. I write books, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You guys do what you do. I'll do what I do.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it will all work out very nicely.
And she's worried. She enjoys the television show. At least she says she does.
Good.
Dara posted an avclub.com link that Warner Brothers has picked up the rights to Dragon Riders of Pern. Now, I didn't do enough research to find out if it's never had the rights before, but it seems surprising to me that somebody didn't already have this in the works. And of course, dragons are riding a wave of popularity right now, so it's a smart one. Doesn't mean it'll turn into a movie, obviously, but Dara is very hopeful.
They say
totally happening, probably, maybe.
Totally, definitely, maybe happening.
Yeah,
for sure. They say in the AV Club article, Pern heroine Lessa is like a way better Daenerys Targaryen.
Ooh, I like both. I don't know that I would say that.
I don't know if I would say that. I also mostly like both, although Lessa is kind of a pain in the butt. Yeah. I'm just going to put that out there. Daenerys sometimes makes some bad choices too. But, yeah. Okay. Well, we don't need to have this fight.
That's a fight for the Goodreads forum.
Yeah, that is a fight. That is a Goodreads thread waiting to happen. Oh, speaking of Goodreads, thank you guys so much. We are over 20K members on Goodreads right now.
Oh,
we have
crazy.
surpassed the big 20K mark. So thank you for everyone who jumped in and I think made us the biggest book club on Goodreads now. So that is super awesome, and we're so happy that you guys have stuck with us through the years, and here's to many more to come.
And welcome to brand new people that help push us over the 20K who never were part before. What's amazing to me is how well our community, and this is no credit to us, I don't think, our community is able to welcome and adapt to this amount of people. It's crazy.
Well, okay, so here's the thing for you, Tom. You're a fan of Philip K. Dick.
I am. My favorite book by Philip K. Dick is The Man in the High Castle, for instance.
Well, Tom, I have some good news for you, although it might be good news. It may not be good news. It kind of depends on how you take it. Amazon Studios is putting out a pilot in their third pilot cycle for The Man in the High Castle. It is based, of course, on the book, and it is written by Frank Spotnitz and Scott Free.
Okay.
And it is directed by David Semmel, which is pretty cool. And so, of course, the project is set in 1962 and explores an alternative reality in which Nazi Germany and Japan won World War II and occupy the United States. So, Tom, tell us, how do you think, as a fan of the book series, this will translate into television?
Yeah, and Ridley Scott's a producer on it. That's where I start to get nervous.
Why?
Well, Blade Runner. Fantastic movie. Not saying a word against Blade Runner, although some people may. But it is not Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep turned into a movie. It's Ridley Scott taking elements of Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep and making a good movie. And that's fine. If I really want to see The Man in the High Castle made into a movie, and if they take elements of it and make a really good movie, that will be okay, but a small part of me will be disappointed. I really want to see the Philip K. Dick story, not just a what if Japan and Germany won the war and there was some spooky mystery stuff.
Right. Well, I mean, don't you think this was from Michelle, by the way, so thank you, Michelle, for this news item. But sometimes books are better served by being in a series as opposed to being in a film.
And some books, like Blade Runner, for instance, are better as fodder for creating a great movie. I get that too. It's just that I love this book so much, and I've always pictured it. That I am Patrick Rothfuss for The Hobbit with The Man in the High Castle, right? For me, watching The Hobbit, it's like if it didn't match the book exactly, that was fine. I just wanted to see a good movie, and we can argue whether I did or not. That's a whole separate question. Patrick Rothfuss, if you remember on our video show, was worried. He's like, this is part of my childhood. This is important to me. I need to see this done right. Man in the High Castle isn't part of my childhood, but it is part of my collegehood, and it's important to me, and I want to see it done right.
Your young adulthood, if you will.
It made me into a man. That's not true.
I'm waggling my eyebrows at you
implies
in
a lot
video
of
form.
That aren't true.
Oh, Tom, your innocence is so charming. Your sweet, sweet innocence that we all made fun of you for after last week's episode.
Apparently, it was very popular.
It was very popular. Your innocence and the title there within was very popular. Also coming into television land, Rob has an article from Vulture.com about Sci-Fi adapting The Magicians. Not HBO, not Showtime, not AMC. Sci-Fi again with the Sci-Fi. I feel like I should pitch something to Sci-Fi. Jeez.
Yeah, right. No, I'm glad to see them. I'm glad to see Sci-Fi turning back towards science fiction and fantasy. I like relying on them for that, and it seems like they're doing it more often, even if it is in some cases bringing in a continuum from that's produced elsewhere. The idea of them doing a good job on The Magicians, they need to make a science fiction or fantasy series that is as good as a Game of Thrones. They need to do that. And maybe this will be the one.
Maybe. So this is interesting too because we probably talked about it at the time, but The Magicians was in works at Fox, over at Fox. So they are basically they bought the rights to the idea, and now they're working with new writers, whole new crew of people. And so we've got another chance at a magician show over on Sci-Fi. I think with a Showtime or an HBO or even an AMC, maybe we would get something a little darker and more serious. So I'm a little concerned. I don't know how dark Sci-Fi is willing to go. I still think of Sci-Fi as being a very like PG-13 kind of channel, kind of network. What do you think?
Well, and it does. Because it's not HBO, it's not going to show you nudity. It's not going to curse like crazy. It tries,
and that's too bad because there's a ton of cursing and sex in The Magicians.
Yeah, well, like I said, this is Sci-Fi's chance to go out AMC style, right? I think AMC is the parallel here because AMC is in that same vein of like, we're not HBO, we're not going to go over certain lines, but we can do a Breaking Bad, we can do a Mad Men, and we can do it well to where you don't sit there and go like, gee, they really pulled their punches on that. They're able to walk that line. I don't know if Sci-Fi can do that, but this is maybe their challenge to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And one that I'm really excited about, Nokomis.fl posted. I love his handle, Nokomis.fl. Starz has released the entire first episode of the Outlander series that I mentioned, the aforementioned Outlander series. I haven't watched it yet. I actually originally saw it on the Mary Sue, and I haven't watched it yet, like I said, but I'm looking forward to it. People are still a little riled up, especially in the Mary Sue forums and in the comment section, because the series has a tendency to be a little rapey. And we talked about this pretty extensively over on Vaginal Fantasy, my other book club show. But there's a lot of back and forth about this situation and if it's appropriate to the time period or whether it's, smut for smut's sake or if it's...
You're talking about the books, though, right?
I'm talking about the books.
Yeah.
But the first episode also had a bit of that as well.
Okay. Well,
from what I've heard in the comments. I haven't watched it myself.
That just them following the books then, or?
Yeah, absolutely. But...
So,
I guess we will have to wait and see how that turns out.
If you already know you don't like this kind of story, then you probably shouldn't watch the TV show expecting it to change. Would be my thought.
Probably right. Yes. I am still pretty excited about it, though. I'm on the second book right now. I haven't been as fast as I should have been with keeping up to date on the series as it's been released. But they're long books, man. They are long books. So it takes me a while.
What's cool about this preview of the first episode on their website is you don't need to be a Starz subscriber. I think that's really smart. Like,
No,
try to
yeah.
bring people in and say, wouldn't you like to become a Starz subscriber? Get the first one free. Although it is geo-locked, you have to be in the U.S. or at least appear to
Oh.
be coming from the U.S.
This was funny because someone on the Mary Sue was like, it's a little bit ironic, I think, that I'm actually in the Scottish Highlands right now and I cannot watch this first episode of Outlander. So that was too bad for them.
And then Ben pointed out that Jonathan Pryce and Alexander Siddig were announced as being cast for season 5 of Game of Thrones. No sign yet of Victorian Greyjoy, and unfortunately it doesn't look good for fans of Ariane Martell, so let's all revisit her picture from the Fantasy Flight Games board game and pretend. But yeah, they actually, not just Pryce and Siddig, they released a ton of castings for this. Jonathan Pryce, of course, has been in Brazil and James Bond and Clone. You recognize him for a lot of things. And Alexander Siddig, at least most famous to me, as the Doctor from Deep Space Nine, Julian Bashir.
Oh yeah, cool. Neat. Wait, who is he playing? Does it say who he's playing yet?
He'll be playing Prince Doran Nemeros Martell.
Oh.
And Pryce is the High Sparrow.
Is he a little old?
A wandering septon.
No, he's not too old. Okay.
Yeah, I think the High Sparrow is supposed to be kind of old.
Not him.
Oh, you talking about Siddig?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
No.
I think Doran Martell is supposed to be older, not old like elderly.
Yeah, no. I'm thinking of the wrong character. I'm thinking of Quentin Martell. That's what I'm thinking of.
Gotcha.
But anyway.
Also got Toby Sebastian as Tristan Martell, Nell Tiger Free as Merkala Baratheon, Diobia Operai as Ariel Hota, Enzo Clienti as Yezin Zokagaz, a slave master of Yunkai.
You say Merkella?
I did because they said it that way when they announced her.
Really? Oh.
Merkala or something. Maybe
Interesting.
Jessica Henwick as Nymeria Sand, one of the sand snakes.
We got some sand snakes up in here.
Got a couple other sand snakes, Rosabelle Laurenti Sellers and Keisha Castle Hughes as Tyene and Obara Sand.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of shows about books.
We do have a couple more things that aren't about books being turned into video somehow. Aubrey,
Go ahead.
Aubrey pointed out there's a Kickstarter for temporary literary tattoos. Lithographs tattoos, wearable tributes to iconic books. Aubrey says, I like the designs, and they have a tattoo chain idea for the first 2,500 pledgers to get a tattoo with a quote from Alice's Adventure is in Wonderland, so the whole book would be worn by all the backers.
But would it be worn at the same time? That is the question. You have to coordinate that.
Well, you could take a picture. That'd be kind of cool. Like,
that would be kind of cool.
Put on the tattoo, take a picture of it, and then you could have a Flickr album. Do people still do Flickr albums? I don't know.
Yes, I just did one for my trip to China.
There you go. See?
Because they look really good. And we had one, they did a great Flickr album for Nerdtacular, if you'll remember correctly.
It's coming back.
Well, in sad news, Sony is giving up on e-readers. The Sony e-reader, which was never especially popular, just could not keep up with the Kindle.
For you, the person right now going, I have one.
I have one, but they're not going to support my e-reader anymore.
No, they're not. Well, sort of. They're not going to sell them anymore.
Yeah, that's too bad. Apparently, they will still be available in Japan, also known as Sony.
They own that country.
Oh, that was a fun mistake. So they will still be available there, the Sony Reader. But apparently North American customers using Sony readers have been directed to buy books from Kobo since February of last year. That is them phasing out essentially the Sony ebook store. So Kobo, interesting product as well. I had a Sony e-reader for a little while. I sold it because I had a Kindle and I liked it better. That is the end of that story. It's all about the ecosystem, ma'am.
Yep.
It's all about the ecosystem.
It is. I don't necessarily love Amazon all the time, but they make an ecosystem that works for me, you know.
That stuff works.
I almost never run up against, oh, I can't get that book. At least not anymore.
Yeah. All right. Well, shall we move on to picks?
Yeah. You can pick your books. You can pick your nose, but you can't pick a book's nose because books don't have noses.
They have spines, though.
I finished Cibola Burns, the James S.A. Corey, The Expanse novel, since the last time we talked, and I loved it. In fact, I think I even loved it a little bit more than the last one. Leviathan Wakes is my favorite, and that's just normal for series. You always like the first one the best because it introduces you to everybody, I think, with books anyway.
I don't know.
Often that is the case for me.
Often, yes. Yeah.
But yeah, this one, it really showed the Rocinante crew growing and becoming a team, throw them into some situations that were unfamiliar. You didn't have everybody together in the nice pairings that you would have had in the past, and they created a really interesting and not simple controversy over one of these new planets that they've come across, and it was this, it's the typical like corporate political intrigue combined with gray area of morals, which makes for a great story. So finished that, and I'm back print-wise to reading On the Steel Breeze by Alistair Reynolds.
Oh, very cool. I just finished Shattered by Kevin Hearn. So now I'm done with the Iron Druid Chronicle series in completion. Until the next one, of course. But it was great. They're all great. They're just such fun books to listen to. I listened to all the audiobooks of the series on Ralph's recommendation that the audiobooks are great, and Luke Daniels is phenomenal. And I'm actually having a little bit of trouble now because I'm listening to The Name of the Wind, and the narrator I'm just not on board with yet.
Oh, I really love that narrator because
going from Luke Daniels to this guy, it's like different level.
It's different. It's just different. Nick Podell is amazing.
He's good. He's doing a good job. It's just the cadence. I have to listen. I think it's going to take me a few hours.
I think it's just different. You need to get back in it. Because to me, listening to The Name of the Wind, which I listened to it the first time I read it as well, I was like, oh, right, this is Kvothe. This is what he sounds like. This is great.
All right. I'm drinking. Hold on.
Just take a drink on that, and then tell me what else you're reading.
Okay, I'm also reading on Red Seas Under Red Skies by Scott Lynch, the second in the Gentleman Bastard series. I think I mentioned that last week.
So jealous that you are still getting to experience that and then Republic of Thieves. That is so awesome.
They're so good. They are just so well written. Like the way they talk to each other and the conversations and the cursing and the stuff they come up with is just so funny and awesome. And you really care about the characters and you care about their relationships. And it totally reminds me why I loved the first book so much. What was the name of it?
When we kick off Name of the Wind, which we're going to do later in this episode, remind me to talk about my theory of Locke, Lamora, and Kvothe.
Okay. What was the first book called?
The Gentleman Bastard series, but it's
but
The Lies of Locke Lamora.
The Lies of Locke Lamora. Okay, I knew his name was in it. I just couldn't remember because now I'm on the second book and my mind's all in this one. But whatever. And then, as you guys know, we had a in-person book club meetup at Borderlands in San Francisco, and we had a pretty good turnout. And but actually, before this, earlier in the week, was the Joe Abercrombie event, which, by the way, I have a copy here of Half a King by Joe Abercrombie.
You didn't get the other half?
I only got the half. And it's signed by Joe Abercrombie. Can you read what it says, Tom?
All the words, all the swords, none of the laser. What?
I love it. All the swords, none of the lasers, Joe Abercrombie.
It's actually just true.
It's pretty true. Lasers. But we're going to give this one away. We have to figure out how we're going to do it, but this will be a giveaway to one of our listeners out there. So we'll figure that out in the next week or so. And then so stay tuned for that. But anyway, I ran into A.E. Marling, Andy, who's also a writer and Sword and Laser listener, and he recommended a book called California Bones by Greg Van Eckhout. I'm hoping I'm saying Eckhout. but it sounded really, really cool. And they actually even had a big poster of it up in Borderlands, so it seems like it had a pretty good launch. So I'm going to check that one out too as soon as I have time to read more books. But, we also have the Vaginal Fantasy picks for the month, and Name of the Wind ain't no short tome, so I've got a lot to get through
Not
here
a quick
in
read,
August. Not a quick read.
And then from the Goodreads page, we always like to dip into the What Else Are You Reading thread. And Caleb said, Deadly Class by Rick Remender has to be the most dark and twisted comic I've ever read. Anyone who reads this comment, I highly recommend you read it. And then he mentions Half a King by Joe Abercrombie just arrived at his library, and he's going to start reading that next.
Very cool. And things that are coming out in the very near future. Out today, for example, August 5th, you may be listening tomorrow, but it was today, Tuesday, August 5th, The Magician's Land, a novel by Lev Grossman. We also have Severed Souls by Terry Goodkind, The Widow's House, The Dagger and the Coin by Daniel Abraham. And then next week...
Oh, go ahead.
No, you.
August 12th, Fool's Assassin, Realm of the Elderlings, from the Fitz and the Fool trilogy by Robin Hobb. Next one's out.
Is that the new one?
That's the new one.
Oh my god, I pre-ordered it already, and I kind of forgot that I did, so now it's just going to show up on my Kindle, and I'm going to be like, yay!
It's present time.
And I'm going to have to read that, so that's going to be another thing I have to read. You can find tons more other books over on swordandlaser.com/calendar if you want a refresher of what's coming up in the very near future.
Now, here's the thing. We are sponsored by Squarespace. It's an all-in-one platform, makes it fast and easy to create your own professional website, portfolio, online store. It's simple and easy. It's beautiful in design. It's got drag-and-drop content. But the hard thing for me, Veronica, is that I feel like telling people about Squarespace anyway, even though they're not a sponsor.
Oh.
It's like living and breathing Sword and Laser is living and breathing Squarespace. That's where we live. We are inside Squarespace. We are in their forms. I was just in there updating the calendar earlier. And just highlight a thing, put a link, boom, 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 done. I don't ever use their 24/7 support through email or chat.
I have.
But they're there 24/7. If you need them, you just get them. Plans start at $8 a month. They include a free domain name if you sign up for a year. Yeah, I'm knocking all the reasons why you wouldn't want to try Squarespace off. You're like, oh, they don't have an online store. Yeah, they do. Every site comes with an online store. So there you go. Like, that's great, Tom, but I want to try it before I put down my money. Well, how about a free trial? Just go start a site.
No credit card. Yeah. No credit card. No need one.
No, don't need a credit card. Put your credit card back in your pocket, mister. Or Mrs. Or Miss. Just try Squarespace. And then, if you decide to keep it, which we think you will, 10% off. 10% off! Visit squarespace.com. Enter the offer code SWORD at checkout. No laser. Just SWORD.
Tom, you're getting the rough end of things this week.
Better Web starts with your website, and we really sincerely thank Squarespace for their support. So support them in return.
Absolutely. Thank you to Squarespace for their continued support. You guys are awesome. All right, now it is time for Bare Your Sword, which is our feedback from the audience. We have a post from Alex. This is about dystopian for adults. He goes on to say, she goes on to say, I have this thing in my head because
Alex.
There was a girl on my street and her name was Alex, A-L-I-X. And then I later met a guy whose name was Alex, A-L-E-X. So in my mind, if it's spelled A-L-E-X, that is a boy. And if it's spelled A-L-I-X, that is a girl. I know that is not true. I'm just, in my brain, that's how it works. So I apologize.
It's Alexia.
I apologize, Lady Alex. She says, I assume that dystopian is allowed in a sci-fi fantasy forum, and I wouldn't know who else to ask. But anyway, of course it is. Maybe it's due to who I follow on BookTube and on book blogs, but I'm seriously sick of reading about teenagers fighting back against the government and all the stuff that happens in dystopians. Surely a dystopian world affects everyone in a book, but all we seem to see is the teenager finding courage and fighting back. Surely an adult, especially one with a family, would most likely be the ones to start a rebellion in such a society. So long story short, what adult, if there is, books that are dystopian and are actually about adults and our protagonist is an adult are there? Thank yous in advance. There's a ton of them.
Back, Alex. Lots of great suggestions. A lot of them just from Louie, who pointed out Ready Player One by Ernie Klein, Wool, which we've read. Well, actually, both of these we've read as picks. The Man in the High Castle, Philip K. Dick, is a dystopian world of a sort. City in the Stars, Arthur C. Clarke.
And you missed everything from Killian. Killian said 1984 and Animal Farm by George Orwell. Then we have Brave New World and Fahrenheit 451, which are also very good. And
those are classics, yeah.
Classics, yeah. If you're brave enough to venture into the graphic novel comic book world, there's V for Vendetta, which he's reading at the moment and is incredible so far.
The Gunslinger from the Dark Tower series. Dark Tower series itself. Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. John pointed that one out.
Oh yeah, The Handmaid's Tale, Oryx and Crake, definitely dystopian novels for sure. There's tons and tons of stuff. The Lathe of Heaven. Let's see what else we got here. Stand on Zanzibar, which I've definitely heard is fantastic. Yeah, so a lot of great stuff. So if you guys have any recommendations for Lady Alex, post them over on Goodreads in the thread.
We've made her gentry. Lady Alex.
Lady Alex.
Thane posted a post. That's what you do with them. Author or book-related dreams. Last night I dreamed that people were making fun of Roger Zelazny's writing because he had a horse galloping in one scene. The critics claimed the main character wasn't riding the type of horse that galloped. I tried to explain it was still a good story, but they wouldn't listen. It was just too unrealistic that a horse like that could gallop. Sigh. I've also dreamed about Way of Kings, but in a more video game manner. You had to find storm gems to power up your character. It seemed like a fun game.
It seemed like a fun game. That's awesome. I cannot remember having any book-related dreams. Can you?
I have.
I feel like I probably have.
I think I've had author-related dreams where, like, especially when we were shooting the first season of Sword and Laser, probably, where, like, authors showed up in dreams.
Or didn't show up.
Or didn't show up for shows, although all of them did.
Thankfully, none of that happened.
Yeah, that was just a nightmare. It wasn't real. I haven't had dreams that were set in books or movies that I can remember, and I might just not be remembering.
Well, if you've had a book-related dream, you can definitely chime in over on Goodreads as well. And finally, I don't know how many of you guys were over at San Diego Comic-Con. I wish it was San Francisco Comic-Con.
Saint.
There was a fantastic epic fantasy panel, and I actually posted about it over on the Twitter account previously because I thought it was so awesome and I really wanted people to attend who were going to be in the area. But it was featuring Django Wexler, Sam Sykes, Joe Abercrombie, Robin Hobb, Morgan Rhodes, Raymond E. Feist, and Patrick Rothfuss, and it was moderated by Brent Weeks.
That's an all-star cast. Yeah. That's like a freaking all-star game of epic fantasy. That is an epic fantasy panel.
Yeah, so I'm really jealous that I didn't get to go see that. But, you know, can't be at all the Comic-Cons, unfortunately.
But there is a YouTube link.
There is a YouTube link. I'm definitely going to go watch that panel. I am super excited about checking that out. It's like some of my favorite authors are in that panel. And I did get to go see them doing a signing. Last year, they were all like doing a signing in the signing area, so that was cool to wave hi to Patrick Rothfuss and Robin Hobb. And I didn't see Sam Sykes though, because I'm pretty sure he's a phantom. A phantom of my imagination.
You probably missed him because he's so tall. Apparently, he's like close to 12 feet tall.
12 feet tall. Yeah, I heard.
And so you probably just thought he was one of the buildings.
Okay, that might explain it.
Yeah, you may have actually gone to an event.
He is an extremely tall inside of Sam Sykes.
In Sam Sykes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Well,
tall. That about wraps it up for our Barrier Sword, but let's hop into the Book of the Month discussion. Of course, this month for August, we are listening to / reading The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, the aforementioned Patrick Rothfuss.
This will be a non-spoilery kickoff of The Name of the Wind. However, if you want to know nothing about The Name of the Wind before you start reading it, which I know some people are like that, you might want to stop listening now. Patrick Rothfuss wrote The Name of the Wind during his 9-year advance toward his BA in English. He drew inspiration from college courses he was taking, role-playing games, tabletop games he'd been playing, other interests and hobbies, and a short story, which is actually part of the novel The Wise Man's Fear, the sequel to The Name of the Wind, called The Road to Levanshire, won the Writers of the Future contest all the way back in 2002.
Wow, yeah. Name in the Wind was published on March 27th, 2007, and it just started winning awards, man. It won the Quill Award in 2007 for science fiction, fantasy, and horror category. It won Best Books of the Year by Publishers Weekly, science fiction, fantasy, horror category, and the Alex Award in 2008 for Young Adult Library Services
Is it a
Association
lady or a
Award.
man, Alex?
I don't know.
Not neither. It's an award.
Ooh, it's an it.
Rothfuss was born in Madison, Wisconsin. He received his bachelor's in English from the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point. Good hockey team there. In 1999, he spent 9 years as an undergraduate exploring various majors, including chemical engineering, clinical psychology, and others. He talked about some of that when we interviewed him for the Sword and Laser video series. Now, one thing I've noticed among the people who have started reading it and commenting on Goodreads already, it can be a slow start for some, because you're getting to know Coat and the inn right from the very first page. I remember thinking that. I remember thinking like, okay, I'm curious, I'm intrigued, I want to find out more, but when do we get to the stuff? When do things start happening? And of course, things do start happening in that time frame, but there are different time frames going on. This is essentially day one of a story being told by the main character. On my second read, I don't know how you're feeling, Veronica, it does not seem slow at all, because I know all of these things that inform, and I'm just seriously impressed how later story elements they're not spoiled, but they're certainly informing those early scenes in ways that you don't know when you first read them.
Right. Yeah, I'm excited to do another read through because it has been many years since I read the first one, and I feel like there's going to be a lot that I'm going to pick up this time around. And like you said, I think people are seeing that already in the forums. We have a thread of second-time readers, and they're kind of going back and being like, oh, yeah, I totally didn't see this the first time around, but now I really get why this happened and who this person was and why this was important. And I think that's great. You know, I get so few chances in life to reread a book like this just because of time constraints. So it's exciting to me to get to dive into it again. I'm still in the tavern, so I haven't moved on beyond that point yet into the backstory. So I'll definitely be keeping my eyes open and ears open for little spoilerific tips,
little
foreshadowing,
little drops, little things that you're like, oh, I get that, I understand that now. I do think that there are a lot of people who are saying this is a typical story. Like dismissing it like, yeah, I've read the story a million times. It's a story about, you know, epic fantasy and killing the king and heroic journeys and evil and magic, and yes, it is all of those things. But what impresses me about The Name of the Wind, and what impressed me back when I first read it before I knew anything about it or its author, is that it does it elegantly. The writing is fantastic, and it does it in a way that is significantly different from what I expect. And I'll use magic as an example. We've talked about this on Sword and Laser before, back when we first were getting to know The Name of the Wind. It's called sympathy, not magic. There is a scientific underlying basis of it, and it's well thought out, and it has an internal consistency and logic, and it explains a lot of the differences between why people have these ideas of magic, which are the typical cliche generic ideas of magic, and why those are wrong, but why they have those ideas, and what really happens, and the sort of science, not, I want to say pseudoscience because that sounds like an epithet, but it's a scientific way of explaining what happens, because it's sympathy between materials that makes the magic happen. That's just one example. I think there's lots of examples of this sort of thing where he says, yes, I'm going to have magic. I'm going to have this element of classic fantasy, but I'm going to do it in a way that I don't think it's been done before that is really compelling. At least it is to me.
Yeah. And, actually, Gary had an interesting point. Marty Stew.
Is that the male version of Mary Sue?
Kind of, yeah. It's like I think it's like the more action-oriented version, like kind of the perfect man, can do no wrong.
Because that's the idea with the Mary Sue
ladies.
Character. It's sort of a wish fulfillment of the author, right?
Right. So do you get the sense that Kvothe is a Marty Stew? Do you think he's too perfect? Or are we still waiting for him to kind of F up? in the third book.
It's interesting to me because Brian Brushwood and I had this conversation this weekend.
Oh, that is
where
interesting.
He's like, you could consider Kvothe to be a Mary Sue, right? He's always able to do everything. And in fact, Gary says his problems are all either overcome with ridiculous ease and or the product of a rather contrived, self-imposed egoism that comes and goes with the necessity for him to have something to do as a side adventure. I think that's a rather unforgiving and harsh depiction of it. I think Kvothe is just a heroic character. I don't think it's a wish fulfillment, Mary Sue type character. Kvothe has problems. He has things that he can't do. And they get him in trouble because he is beyond, or he is unaware of his own limits. And in some cases, he's unaware that he has the power to do other things that he could do. So, yeah, I don't think he's a character that just never has a barrier. In fact, he has tons of barriers to cross. That's what makes him interesting. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I think he does have a bit of an ego sometimes, and I think part of the story is him overcoming that and realizing his capabilities, as you said. But also he is very powerful, but he is good at a lot of things. So I think I can go either way. I think this rereading is going to help me kind of remember all of my opinions about the book that I had the first time around. All I remember is really loving it. So
if you say that, to me, if you say that Kvothe is a Mary Sue or a Marty Stu character, then you're saying every heroic character is that, right? Like anybody.
And if he's not perfect, then you say, oh, he's the chosen one who isn't good at first, but that is going to learn his abilities later down the line and kind of, find his heroism.
And he's neither. Like, he has to. He is set up to be a heroic character. He is a King Arthur character, right? Maybe he's not quite the chosen one, but there's nothing wrong with having a character that's really good at a lot of things. But not
I guess
every
that's why
story,
he's interesting.
Yeah, not every story has to be like the average guy. Kvothe is very talented, but we don't know why he is in the situation he is at the beginning of the book, and that's interesting. You want to find out why this person who has been so talented has ended up in this other situation.
I mean, clearly, there's well, we don't want to spoil it too much.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay away from spoilers, but
have not gotten into the second book yet. But he's not where he is, like where we are in the beginning of this first book. We know that is a very, very different place from the first couple of chapters of the book. So how did he get from that place to the other?
And to me, one of the things about a Mary Sue character, or Marty Stu character, I guess, is that they're sort of good without explanation. They're just naturally great. There is an element of Kvothe. He is naturally great at certain things. But there are lots of things that he knows how to do that are explained. He has a unique journey where his upbringing as a trooper teaches him music. It teaches him life on the road. And then his later adventures, which I don't want to get too spoilery about, teach him about living in a city and teach him about
his sexy adventures.
And then his later sexy adventures are going to teach him about being sexy. That's in the Wise Man's Fear, though. You just wanted.
It is?
You just wanted to make me say that.
All right, spoiler. I'm sorry. There are some sexy adventures.
There's not that many. There's no sexy adventures in.
I blushed. I blushed a little bit with the next
book. Wise Man's Fear. Well, that's the Wise Man's Fear right there. Anyway, I feel like this is like, yeah, sure, a character that would go through these things with this talent, would be able to do all of these things. And he's not perfect, and he doesn't execute them well, and he screws up all the time. And I don't think it's just his ego.
And people get mad at him.
Yeah.
Teachers get mad at him. And
should there never be a character who's talented? That wouldn't make for a very good story.
That's true.
Or it can make for
stick
a
with
different
it.
kind of story.
I think what we're trying to say to you guys, stick with it. If you're reading it and you're like, this is slow and this character is too perfect.
I think what Veronica's saying is stick with it or stick it.
Or stick it in your... Not going to say Finnish words. That's bad.
Stick it in your bookshelf. And
there you go. There you go, in your bookshelf. That's nice. All right. Well, I think that kind of is that was a good kickoff for Name of the Wind. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. If you are in the forums, you will have noticed that we have added a new naming convention to the threads there. So if you're starting a thread in the Name of the Wind section, start it with NOTW and a colon. Name of the Wind.
That's so,
Just so
if you're wondering why, that's so people on mobile and other devices that don't sort everything by category nicely can tell what the thread's about.
Right, because you get these digest emails, and they don't say what discussion thread this thread is coming from. So like when we do casting threads and things like that, they all are just called casting for this book, blah, 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 or casting for the book, casting choices. And you're like, what book are they talking about? So now you'll be able to see that it's Name of the Wind, or it's what other else book we've been reading. Like I think the last one was just Dawn, because it was a short name. So that's our new naming convention, and it's kind of like whoever kind of kicks it off gets to decide what the naming convention is for the thread. So sometimes it'll be me, sometimes it'll be Josh, sometimes it'll probably be Rob because he starts all the threads.
I want to chastise Ralph in the chat room. He totally spoiled Name of the Wind.
What?
Forever. Yeah, he wrote Wind meets name, Wind loses name, Wind gets name. Story as old as time.
Ralph. Ruining everything.
Don't have to read the book now.
That's it. That's our wrap-up discussion for Name of the Wind. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for playing. All right, so let's wrap up this episode of Sword and Laser. Hey, we are having local meetups now. As I mentioned earlier, we had a great one in San Francisco. The next one in San Francisco is going to be August 25th at 6 p.m. Pacific at Borderlands on Valencia Street here in the city. So, last time we had 7 or 8 people there. It was great. We had a lot of fun. Borderlands is a great place to have a meetup. They're super nice, and they have tons of great books for sale. And, of course, they will always have the next month's pick on sale for you to get while you're at the store. But there are tons of other events happening all over the world, which is amazing. We've got events being planned in Rochester, New York, North Carolina, up in the UK, in Michigan, in Lithuania. Actually, just one guy posted, Ed Vardas just posted in Lithuania. So if you're in Lithuania and want to go hang out with Ed Vardas, do it.
Lietuva.
We've got Las Vegas fans, Tacoma, Washington, Australians, Los Angeles. Oh, and there's an Orange County meetup happening, Tom, and they want you to come through the Orange Curtain. That's what they said.
I always go through the Orange Curtain for conventions, so I probably
you have to pass through the Orange Curtain from LA to Orange County.
That hard for me to do it for these.
For those guys, yeah, that would be fun.
Have
they
scheduled it yet? I'm trying to see if there's a date.
I don't know if they scheduled it yet.
Right,
I think they're planning logistics. And of course, we are part of the Boing Boing Podcast Network. So if you want to check out tons of other amazing shows to listen to, head over to boingboing.net/category/podcasts. There's tons of great stuff and all friends of the show. And soon we're going to try to work a little more closely together, have bumpers and stuff for each other's shows so you can find something new and interesting to listen to as well. If you want to get in touch with us, our email address is feedback@swordandlaser.com. Our website is swordandlaser.com. Head over there for featured reviews from the audience like you. And, of course, all of our discussions happen over on goodreads.com. We will see you guys next time.
Bye, everybody.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Recording is over. No one asked any questions.
Why ask question?
Why ask me questions? I'm going to do a dance. Apparently I blocked the driveway, and so Ryan was calling me and texting me during the show, being like, you blocked the driveway! And I was like, you're home early!
So you couldn't park on the street? Oh, Tom.
Girl.
If you like it, then you should have put her... Well, yeah, okay.
Anyway, though, let me free the dog from the confines of this room. 1 second.
Okay, we'll just keep streaming. I should block the driveway then. So you shouldn't block the driveway like that. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what you guys think.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, okay.
Boing boing. When one boing just ain't enough.
What are you saying?
Ralph wrote, when one boing just ain't enough.
Ralph, do you want to play the video game tonight? What's the video game? Elder Scrolls. Because I cannot beat this point. I can't find anyone to play Elder Scrolls with me.
Why don't you play Destiny?
Because I don't have Destiny.
Or Hearthstone.
I could play Hearthstone, but I want to play an adventure game.
Diablo.
I could play Diablo. I could play Diablo.
I don't know why I'm trying to talk you out of playing Elder Scrolls. It doesn't matter.
I really want to like that game, and I just never have any fun when I'm playing it.
Then I don't think you like it.
Isn't that depressing?
Yeah.
Oh, David Michael sent you a funny picture on Twitter, and I don't know what it means.
Okay.
What is that? Is that...
It's a talking book.
I don't get it, though. I don't get the reference.
Oh, really, Ace Detect? I think you are mistaken. Maybe it's something about audiobooks, books that talk.
Maybe. Maybe I will.
Okay.
Oh, I was not answering you. I was answering the chat room verbally to a question you didn't hear.
No, I didn't hear it.
No. Pop Tart Cat said, "Please stream it, Veronica." I said, "Maybe I will."
So your husband's going to apply for a job as a GIF content specialist
Why? Where are you getting that
on
from?
Twitter.
What? Who said that?
Responsibilities include some light GIF creation.
First of all, who are you that says GIF?
I am the person who listens to the creator of the format.
No, language is a flexible,
Yes.
evolving
and
thing.
Therefore, I don't criticize you when you say GIF.
You're wrong!
I love that you went from language is a you're wrong.
Milking cows.
Veronica
or
Smash.
alternately other awful things. Okay, sorry.
Hey now.
Get out of
Hey
that,
now.
internet. Damn it.
Hey now, don't dream it's over.
Damn it. Damn it. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, building a wall between us. You know they won't win. Anyway, I realize that the door is open, and I shouldn't be singing because husband's gonna hear that and think I'm weird.
Yeah, don't worry about the entire internet being able to see you, but my husband thinks you're weird.
Oh, do we have business we need to discuss?
Yeah, probably.
So blog post is up, right?
Of 185, yeah.
185, okay.
Yep.
And then 186 is in the works.
I'm working on it right now.
Cool beans.
So many beans.
Oh, it's a book with a nose, Tom, which you claimed they do not have. It is a book with a nose. You are wrong.
Wrong
Rambler.
again.
Space Rambler on the Google Hangout says, "I'm with Veronica on the GIF debate."
My assertion is that you can pronounce it however you want.
Thank you, Space Rambler.
And
You're on the side. You're on the side
there is
of
no
history.
wrong way to pronounce it. But others, especially the GIF side of the debate, apparently, want to force their hegemony of pronunciation, or hegemony, I guess they would say.
Oh, you know what Brian Brushwood would say?
The San Francisco.
No, you know what Will
Giant.
Wheaton would say? Jif is a peanut butter.
JIF is a peanut butter, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
not spelled
sound
the
is a
same.
peanut butter.
Yeah.
It's an animated GIF.
Go
It's a
Giants.
GIF.
Give me some gin and tonic.
I will drink your gin and tonic. All right, so...
I don't really care.
Oh, C-name stuff. You need the C-name.
Yes. You know we're still live, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
What? Wasn't like picking my nose or
Well,
anything.
no, I didn't want you to start giving out like account.
Login information.
Yeah, CNAME information. What should we call this? The name of the wind is Bob.
I always like to go with like Doug or Dave. Greg. No, I always go with Greg. Greg is my default name.
I go Bob, Jeff a lot for some reason. I don't know why. Frank.
Frank's
Fred.
a little old timey.
Fred.
I like chat room. What do you think? What should the name of the wind be? It's gonna take them a little time because they are still catching up with us. Hannah, Hannah. Ooh. Chat.
GIF.
GIF.
I pronounce it GIF.
Okay. Well, we can end this. End it now. Gotta go feed the dog anyway. Finish him. I have to go figure out my guild situation in Elder Scrolls because they kicked everyone out of their guilds in the update.
Oh, that's annoying.
Mm-hmm. Moving along very nicely. Oh, yes, we are doing Name of the Wind during Shart Week. Tom, do you know that it's Shart Week
No.
on Comedy Central? It's Shart Week
Is
instead
it?
of Shark Week.
That sounds horrible.
It is horrible. It's
I do not
amazing.
wanna
It's
be
going to show all
funny.
like poop-related and fart-related humor
Yeah,
because
thing.
it's funny.
because it's Shark Week.
Shart Week.
Scott Johnson must be excited
Yeah, it's Furt Week.
for a week.
You guys are bad at naming the wind.
Ezekiel? Aloysius?
I don't like these names. These are more like
Dave?
Dave is good. I like Dave. We can make the name of the wind as Dave.
It's a long title.
Is it long?
Is it? Is it Tom?
I didn't mean that like that. I was actually asking.
Yeah, it's a little long. We discover the name of the wind. It's Dave.
No, just say the name of the wind is Dave.
Okay. That's what I'll do. Except
And
that
then-
has nothing to do with what we actually talk about.
Well, what do we talk about, Tom?
We just
What
talk
do we
about
actually talk about,
sex.
Tom?
That's all you want to talk about ever since you started that other book club. Rumpy Pumpy time.
David Michael says Dave is an excellent name.
Dave is an excellent name. It is the name of the wind.
Okay. All right.
All
We
right.
out.
We out.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye,
We'll
everybody.
see you next time. Bye. Maybe I'll stream some Elder Scrolls later, but
Oh, yeah.
probably not. We'll see.
Bye.
Bye.